Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. Now, you've got a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They will try and buy your treasures off you for cash on the table today.
400, 500 pounds.
Took my breath away.
If I don't think the offer's good enough, I'm going to say no. Don't accept that. Take a chance, gamble, place the same goods into an auction, and let's hope we can get you a little bit more money there. Today the show comes to you from Watford in Hertfordshire. Well, look at this crowd. They're all here with their treasures. They only have one thing in mind, and you know what that is. They want to walk away with the real deal.
First up today is Ian Townend. Will this opening lot make Ian tick?
A plastic Gucci watch.
That's right.
That's right.
It is.
And where did you get this watch from?
My mum got that at a boot market about 10 years ago. She went to a stall, there was a basket full of watches, and the guy said they're all £1 each. He said, but they all need batteries. So she saw this watch, she liked it, bought it for £1, walked around the rest of the boot market, pulled it back out again, realised it was a Gucci. She then twisted the wind up on it and realised it was actually working. It was a wind up watch. And here we are with it.
Sure it wasn't a wind-up altogether.
Well, maybe. No.
And now you're winding me up.
Yeah.
Right. So why are you selling your mother's watch?
It's my birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And she said, whatever we make, we'll split it.
So do you know what it's worth?
No.
You have no idea what it's worth? Nor do I.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm going to say £50. It's worth a lot more?
It's a Gucci watch.
How much do you think it's worth?
More than £50.
Really?
Yeah, it's got to be.
What makes you think that? Because it's Gucci doesn't mean it's worth a lot.
I wouldn't sell it for £50.
You wouldn't?
No, I won't.
Well, I think that's what it's worth. I mean, it's plastic. David.
What is he like?
I don't understand it. Plastic Gucci watch.
Gucci, darling. 1960s. Ciao, ciao, bambina. I mean, very fashionable.
Yeah.
100 to 120 is the area that they're
Really?
looking at. And you, of all people, should know that has style.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be selling that, probably at about 180. Come on, Ian. I mean, can we not just move a little?
It's a bit low, isn't it, David?
It is a bit low at 50. I agree the 1 to 120 is ambitious. I think if we could get another £20 note on there.
I tell you what, let's do this. Because I don't understand it, okay? I got £60 and that's it.
I think it's worth a little bit more, Ian, and it's this gentleman's birthday. Come on, treat him to a drink. Get another tenner.
There you are. You know, he's getting £60 for a £1 investment.
Is that what you paid for it?
Yes.
You paid £1 for it?
Yeah.
Well, if it was me and you'd paid £1 for it and we couldn't squeeze any more money out of Meanie here, then go on.
There you go.
I'm going to say if that cost you £1 and Ian's given you their 65 quid with a £64 profit, take it, enjoy your birthday, and let him sell it to some young lady who shops in Chelsea.
I'd probably give it away because I wouldn't be able to sell it. I'd probably give it to somebody who's got a small wrist.
Don't be kidded by that. I think I'll give it away.
Yeah.
Once he gets his hand on it, and if there's a few quid, he'll not be giving anything away.
So, Nathan, birthday boy,
Ian, tell me.
tell me, my dad. So you got 65 on the table.
Yeah.
That's my final offer. You've squeezed an extra 15 out of me.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I won't sell it for £65.
You won't sell
I'll
it for
take.
60.
I won't sell it for £65.
Okay. It's your birthday. You get up and give me a kiss on this cheek, and I'll move the fiver.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'll put a tenner.
All right then. Yeah? Deal.
Kiss me first.
Legend.
Wonderful. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Does
Happy
that please
days.
you?
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Brilliant.
and give the watch away, or will he find that stylish Chelsea buyer? Find out later. Anyone fancy a little tipple?
Pleased to meet you, Alison.
And your name?
David and auctioneer Tom Keane are determined not to miss this deal.
And this is your decanter set?
Yes.
And how long have you had it?
I would guess about 15 to 20 years.
Okay.
My husband bought it. I can't remember where he got it from.
So it's really attractive. I love it. I mean, I think it would
Yes.
grace any table. It's obviously, I would imagine, for liqueurs.
Yes.
The decanters themselves, with the little handles here, which are seraphim, they're lovely. The stand with its ivy and acanthus leaf decoration looks somewhat Art Nouveau. I don't think they're that old. I would say that they're probably about 1950s.
Really?
Yes, I don't think they're much older than that. Then as I take them all out, and I lift up the stand, it's got quite coarse solder work. Do you see? And that wouldn't be something I'd expect to see on a piece that's Victorian. So I definitely think they're a reproduction, paying homage to an earlier period.
Now, Tom, a glamorous lot here. Obviously not a lot of age. I suppose we would describe that as being a reproduction. Well, I mean, it's a nice looking thing.
Good condition, looks the part. If it was a Victorian one, silver, what would it be, £1,500, £2,000?
Yes.
That's what, £200 or £300 worth of anybody's money, really, isn't it?
Okay. Let's see what Alison puts on the table.
And what are you going to do with the money?
I buy a season ticket at Watford Football Club.
So you're a big football fan for
Yes.
Watford. How long have you supported them?
55 years.
55 years. That's wonderful. Are you one of their longest supporters?
Yes, I should think so.
Well, Jill, I'll put my money on my table. 50. 100. 120.
You often hear me say on the programme, it's the dealer's own money and they will not be parted from it very easily. And we're seeing an example of that at the moment. £120 on the table. Come on.
No, I wouldn't take it because I'm going to sell it to the end user, not to the dealer. So.
Okay. You've heard what Tom says. He says no way it's worth more than that. I need to get in there and tell our seller we need more money.
I think it's worth a bit more than that.
Do you?
How are we doing?
Well, there's several things about it I don't like.
But they are what they are, Alison. They are reproduction. And the estimate from the auctioneer is £200 to £300. He's placing his estimation on the decorativeness of these items. Now, the independent values, they are lower. They are more around the area that you are here. My job is to try and get, for this dear lady, a fair and good price. At the same time, I've got to respect that our dealer's got to sell it and make a profit. I think they're worth a little bit more than the 120. I'm going to say to you, 120, a bit on the low side. I'd like to see it going up towards the 200, though the auctioneer says, I'm confident, at 2 to 3. Well, maybe he's being a bit ambitious.
Well, in my game, Jill, you've got to put your money where your mouth is, and that is where my mouth is, 120.
All right, thank you.
So what would you like to do?
I'd like to take it to the auction.
To go to auction. All the best, Jill.
Thank you very,
And thank
very
you for
much.
coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, they've shaken hands. They haven't done a deal. It's coming over to you. There's a lot of responsibility here, Tom. Jill has been a fan of the local football team for 50 years, and she needs to sell that to go towards her season ticket, so...
Don't worry, leave it to me. I'll put something towards it.
Let's see if we can get Jill the real deal at auction.
It's coming up now, this lovely decanter stand with the Bristol blue glass. So fingers crossed, let's see what happens coming up there.
Bristol blue decanters there. Is that worth £200 a lot? £100 to go, please, worth out. With £100 I'll take 110, £100 I'll take 110. Who's going to take it along? On 110, a bit of 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. See you with a 150, 160, and 150, then 160, and we'll sell it at 150. We've done it at 150 and getting your last chance. We'll sell it at 150, then a bargain lot goes at 150.
OK, the gambler's just gone down at £150. Now, we've got that dreaded commission to take off, and that leaves you with £127. Are you satisfied or happy? Is that enough, do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
I should have, had I not come here, I would have had...
You'd have had 120. But you wouldn't have come here and had a day out with me, darling.
No,
And
I'm pleased to see you.
And I'm pleased to see you as well, Jill. So we've had a very nice day together, and Jill's still going home with 127 quid.
Yes.
That's the real deal.
Yes.
Back in the den, and Henry Nichols is going for gold.
I can see you brought me in what presumably is a gold identity bracelet.
It certainly is gold,
Okay.
identity bracelet.
What we need to do is we need to establish, first of all, what carat gold it is.
Okay.
So what I'll do is, with my eyeglass, we'll have a look and see if we can spot the mark on here, which normally is up around the hook here. Yep, there we go. We've got 9 carat gold, stamped 375.
Okay.
So that tells us, 375 tells us it's 9 carat gold. The one thing going in its favour is that it hasn't been engraved.
Yes.
Because normally when the identity bracelets are engraved, you know, it does spoil the value. Let's get some money out. Okay. 20. I can stop there if you want.
No, please carry on.
40. 60. 80. 100. 120. Let's go to 130 and see how you go with that. How's 130 pounds?
4 grandchildren.
4 grandchildren.
Yes. I don't
Well.
know. Well,
Okay.
yes.
4 grandchildren. There we are. 2 each. I mean, we're at 140 pounds.
Yeah, a bit closer. Yeah, a little bit more. I think we could go on that.
A little bit more.
It's,
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go another 10, 150 pounds, because obviously I do need to make a profit.
Could you go a little bit more?
I think I'll go another 10, 160 pounds.
Right.
How does that sound?
I wonder if I've got any more grandchildren on the way, though.
Ah, could there be?
You never
Oh,
know.
here's
There's
David. Hi, David.
Right, a tricky
Hello.
one now. 160 on the table.
Indeed.
Let me tell you, first of all, though it's not a word I'm sure a lot of people like to hear, but the scrap value or something like that is £183. ID bracelets, and a lady's ID bracelet, perhaps not as fashionable as it might have been. The best way to settle this is to get hold of Henry's arm, twist it slightly and say, Henry, will you please be a little bit more generous, or is that it at the end of the day? I mean, I think it's nearly there, because I have to also look after the dealers and say they have got to make a profit. 160 is not bad. You can ask for a little bit more, but I'm not so sure I would gamble at auction on this occasion.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Well, so we've got 160 on the table.
Okay.
I'm going to put another tenner down on the table, but you must promise me one thing, that you'll treat yourself to a spot of lunch. 170 is my final offer.
170. 1, 2, 3, 4 grandchildren. Got the deal.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Henry.
Thanks for bringing it in.
You're welcome.
Coming up, has Ian met his match in Loretta?
I love all the sparkle.
Oh, thank you.
You should give it to me when you finish.
Or you can give me yours and I'll swap you.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
Now, will Jan Keane go into battle and win this next lot?
Well, I can clearly see what you've bought in today. A naval officer's sword. And would you like to tell me where you acquired it and a little bit about its background, if you know anything?
It belonged to my father, and he must have had it for at least 50, probably 60 years.
Right.
Where he acquired it from, I'm not quite sure, because as a family we don't have any sea connections, if I can put it that way.
Well, I've got to say it's not typical of my stock, but I'm always willing to give something a go. And I think that the detail on the top with the anchor, the rope and the anchor, is lovely. And then you've got the leather cover and brass. I mean, it's quite clearly lovely quality. Obviously, there's a little bit of damage to it in the casing where this would all go fit together rather nicely.
Yes.
And the actual sword, the actual steel sword, is quite beautifully engraved. I would be willing to make you an offer, and we'll see how we go from there.
Fine.
See if I can tempt you.
See if you can tempt me. Yep.
So if we say 50, then 100. Thinking about a little profit here.
Yes.
How do you think that seems?
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's just a start though.
It's a good start.
120. How does that seem?
I think if you could tweak a little further, we may be getting somewhere.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was going to put down a 10, but I'm feeling generous and I'll say I'll make it 140.
If we went to 150, would we have a deal?
I suppose we would. And what's a tenner between friends? So you've tweaked another £10 out of me, and we've got a nice round 150 on the table. Are you happy to shake hands at that?
We have a deal.
That's lovely. Well, thank you very much indeed.
This next item isn't the only thing that's glittering on Ian's table.
I love all the sparkle.
Oh, thank you.
You should give it to me when you finish.
Or you can give me yours and I'll swap you.
We'll swap.
I'll swap you then.
Wonderful.
Good.
Wonderful. Very nice silver box.
Yep.
Could you tell us a little bit about it?
All I know is it's my nan's and it comes from a friend of the family.
From a friend of the family, to your nan. And she's given it to you to sell.
Yeah.
And you didn't want it?
No. No, it's not my sort of thing.
It's not your sort of thing?
No.
Glitter's your thing?
If it had like a few diamonds in it, then yeah.
A few diamonds on the
Yeah.
edges? That would be very
yeah.
nice, yes. It looks Persian to me.
Okay.
Just open it. Wow. Okay. Gilded inside, few stains, nothing serious. And not too heavy, but it's
Nice weight in it.
nice enough. I'd say it's around 1900, 1920, something like that. It's not terribly old.
Okay.
It's not something I deal in.
Right.
For the simple reason, I'd like to stick with English silver, because people who come in the shop are looking for English silver, so I tend to stay with English silver. I would base my pricing on the fact that it is not English and is a tough one to sell.
Right.
Don't be so serious.
But you can still sell it. There's no definite no that you can't sell it.
No.
No.
The thing is they're very slow, because people don't look for it.
Right.
And that is the problem. 50, 60, 70, 75 pounds. Because I just say it's not what I deal in.
Right.
So I think for your advantage, it's better in an auction. Would you like to try it in auction?
Yeah.
I think you would definitely like
That definitely won't buy the money what I'm supposed to be getting out of it.
Oh, what are you going to get out?
Oh, new pair of shoes and
A
everything.
new pair of shoes?
Yeah, because my nan won't come on telly. I tell you, she's fricked to death of it. I said, I'll go on it as long as I get something out of it. But, yeah.
Okay, so if it sells well in auction, she's going to buy you a pair of shoes for 300.
I'll be a bit kinder. I'll do 290. I'll be a bit kinder.
Auction is going to be,
Yep.
and you're going to have fun there.
Yep.
So good luck in auction, and let's hope it makes a lot of money for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Loretta has her sights set on a nice pair of shoes. Don't blame her. Us girls love our heels.
Coming up now is Loretta's 20th century Persian silver casket. She can't make it here today. I'm looking after her interests. £75 was offered on the dealer's day and turned down. There's a £300 reserve. Is it going to make that kind of money? I think it's a bit too ambitious. Let's see.
2 telephone bids. Just only £300 for it? £300 of it, £300 bids. Could be 310, 310, 320. 320,
You never know in the sale room.
350, 360, 370, 380, 390, 400. I'll give you the 10s, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450 back in, you want 460, 460, 470. At 460, you disappear down, 460, you want 470, you want 470 up there. 470 on the phone, you want 480, 480, 490, 500, 520.
A lot of excitement.
540.
I thought this was overestimated, but I'm wrong. It's making good money.
580, bid at 580 in the room, a live bid of 600 bid, 620. 620, 620, 640. That's £620 a bid in the room at £620. You want to 620, you want 640, 660. She's saying no. At 640, you want 660 on that for that too. That's the money at 640, all done and going. At 640, a large chance are gone. You'll be back at 640.
Taking us by surprise, £640. Fortunately, Loretta turned down a £75 offer from Ian and decided to gamble. I thought she was taking a chance with a reserve of £300, but what does the Duke know? He certainly doesn't know Persian silver. It brought £640. There is some commission to take away. Quick calculation, and I make that £544. That's what we'll be sending off to you, Loretta. You were right to refuse that silly offer. That was the real deal.
Will Alison be the bearer of good news and offer big for this next item?
And so this is your little teddy bear? Yes. And how did you come by it?
Well, I bought him a few years ago, you know.
And you bought him because you collect them, or...?
No, it's just that I liked him.
He's got the little button in his ear. It means that he's a Steiff bear, which is made in Germany, and they are usually mohair. And I can see from this label that he is a limited edition of 2,004 pieces, and his name is Blackjack.
Blackjack.
And this is number 532. So there are only 2,000 odd pieces made of this bear. He's probably, what, 25 centimetres, 30 centimetres, so he's a smallish bear. He's very new. It's the older bears that really attract greater interest and therefore command more money. So what to pay for this little fellow? 20? That looks very pained. I'll push myself to 30 because you have got a box for him, which is always handy. But he's so new, Monique.
No, a bit more.
35. Go on, you've got another £5 out of me.
Yes, I think I'll take it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because going to auction, I'll have to pay the commission fee and what have you, so...
Yeah, I think the money's on the borderline, isn't it, really? Excellent. We have a deal. I'll find the bear a good home.
Okay.
Thank you, Monique.
Thanks.
Coming up, David and Jan go head-to-head.
And I'll make it with that little bit of damage. People come along and they do want things perfect, and I feel that's fair.
Because of the nature and quality of these goods, I don't think those little mini nicks will devalue these.
But who will win Francis over?
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Watford in Hertfordshire.
Will this ship sail to auction, or can Henry keep it firmly anchored to the table?
What's the history of it?
Well, not really much history. I just found it in a charity shop in southwest London, yes, in Richmond.
Okay.
And then...
Are you going to enlighten me as to what it cost you?
No, no, I don't think so.
Fantastic. Well, you're right, it is silver. We've got a little mark here, just on the rudder here, which says silver 925, which is 925 standard silver. It is quite likely to be Middle Eastern.
Okay.
And it would be what they call a dhow. Some people would call it a junk. It's definitely 20th century, for sure. And we can tell that because of the actual mount that we've got here.
Yeah.
And you've got the plastic stays that are holding it in place.
Yeah.
It's quite nicely done. We've got quite a lot of detail here. Yeah. The rigging's in nice condition. Yeah. The quality of the casting is actually pretty good. And I love the fact that the sails are really, really buffed nicely. Why are you getting rid of it?
Well, I never thought because I like collecting, but lately my nephew's getting married. So he's already asked me. He wants money for a present.
So you're the rich uncle.
Well, he thinks so. He thinks I'm rich, but not really.
Okay, so I think I want to give you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. How does that seem?
I think you better keep going.
Are we a million miles away?
I think so, yes.
Okay, all right. Well,
Not miles away, but
we'll try a little bit harder, shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, here comes David.
Now, I suppose you're thinking, Giuseppe, that's not a lot of money.
Exactly.
Well, we've got two estimations here. We have the independent value is about 60 to 80 quid. We have the auctioneer who's certainly more robust. He's kind of 120, 180. I think that's perhaps a little bit ambitious, but he knows his own sale room. I would hope to see something coming towards the 100, but I would have thought it isn't the easiest commercial item to sell.
Okay, I'm going to go closer to what David said, 60, 70, 80, 85 pounds. How does that seem?
If you stop the 5 and put another tenner, we have a deal.
Okay, we'll do that. 5's away, 10 down on the table, 90 pounds. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
So the ship floats off to Henry's shop, but will it earn him a profit? We'll find out later. On Jan's table is an item that'll surely make her eyes light up.
And I can obviously see what you brought in today, these pair of glass candlesticks. And would you like to tell me any background on them, where you got them from?
Well, I inherited it from my mother's family. I don't know anything about them, but I've just had them ever since she died.
Yes. And you didn't want to keep them on show, or?
No, not really.
Not your
really.
sort of thing. So here we have a pair of moulded glass candlesticks. We've got a sort of milkmaid here with the pail on top of her head and a sort of bustling skirt. And then we've got the country gentleman with what I believe is a basket on top of his head. I think they're about 1920s, 30s, and very decorative. So I'm going to start by putting some money down. So I'm going to put a 20 down and a 10. How does that grab you? It
Not
doesn't.
really.
It doesn't grab you at all. Okay, well, we'll take that 10 away. Another 20. What do you think of that?
I think a bit higher.
A little bit higher, a little bit higher. Well, my customers like things perfect, as a lot of people do, and there are a couple of nicks, so I'm going to put down a £5, and I'm going to say £45. How does that grab you?
Well, just before you answer that, let me just tell you what our independent valuers and auctioneers say. I mean, I think £45 must be a bit of a disappointment to you, because they're saying 150 to 200, that is the top layer of estimation, and lower than that is probably about 120 to 150. They're quality, they're desirable, but nowadays objects like this aren't that easy to sell, and that's why our dealers are thinking, well, do I want to give any more money? But 45 is on the low side.
Fair enough, Francis. Well, I'm going to take away that 45. Now, if we make that £60, what do you think of that?
I think I'll go to auction.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Having listened to David, I'll put down another 20 and I'll make it £80, and that has to be my final offer. As I've said, with that little bit of damage, people come along and they do want things perfect, and I feel that's fair.
Because of the nature and quality of these goods, I don't think those little mini nicks will devalue these, quite honestly. They are worth what they're worth. But £80 is certainly a lot different than 45. I would say there's a reasonable chance that you could do better at auction, But I want you to understand, we can come unstuck. And you never know, they may not sell. But 15% off, you might do a little bit better than that, but it's your call.
So what do you think,
I
Francis?
think I'll accept your offer.
Right, and you're sure about that?
Yes, I am. Thank you
That's
very
lovely.
much indeed.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A collection of rings has landed on Ian's table. But do they have the wow factor that Ian loves so much?
Are they all yours?
They are, yes. The small ones came from my aunt, who died about 5 years ago, and the large one came from my brother, who died the year before.
Wow. And why are you getting rid of such a family heirloom?
I want to send my daughter on holiday, who's just finished university, but also I don't like yellow gold.
You don't like yellow gold?
No, don't like it at all.
So it's just platinum and white gold?
White gold, yeah.
You should come and spend your money with me.
I'd love to.
I have looked at them all, and they're all... Some have got 9CT, some have got very difficult to read one of the mark in.
Yeah.
This one, I think, has got the clearest hallmark in it. And you can see that it's Birmingham and it's 9 carat. They're not very heavy rings, and they're not something that's very easy to sell at the moment.
No.
Because they're very small, and the price would be gauged just over the gold price, or more or less on the gold price. Okay, but let's see what we can do. Okay, so let's say 50, 100. I mean, what sort of figure did you have in mind?
You see, he's hedging his bets a little bit, isn't he?
Yes.
Are you looking for more?
Yes, I am looking for more.
Okay, let me tell you what the independent values and the auctioneers say. They vary. Around 150, and then we have 150 to 250. So £100 we feel is on the soft side, but nevertheless, we have a nodding from Ian in agreement that he's thinking, well, it's probably worth at least another 50 quid. So I'm going to go out of the way now and leave you with the generosity of dear Ian here. Okay.
Thank you.
So what I'll do is do 20, so that's 120, 130, because I think that is the top end. It's over and above the scrap price, and I think it leaves me room to do something with.
I would still want a bit more.
I wouldn't go any further than 130. So it's entirely up to you what you do. 130, I think is very fair.
No, I'll go to auction.
You'll go to auction?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have good fun at the auction, and I hope it makes you a lot of money.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brenda's sticking to her guns, but how will she fare at auction? Find out after the break. Also coming up...
What would you imagine this to be worth in this state?
I should say 300.
Yeah, 300. Well, I think I might surprise you, my lovely.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal. I've got Brenda here with me. Now, Brenda, on the dealer's day, you brought along a collection of rings.
Yeah.
There is a reserve of 150 quid.
That's right.
What do you think? Are we going to make it here in this room, the 150?
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, I hope so. There's a collection of rings here. My fingers are crossed. Let's hope we get the 150 quid plus. More than Ian offered. Let's find out. They're coming up over there now.
Got our rings now, number 55, the 19th century antique value as well there. £100 a lot, please. £100, up at £100, 110 a bit at 110, 120. 120 a bit at 120, 130. 130 a bit at 130, 140. 150, 150. Add 140 a bit at 140, 150. Next year, 160, 170, 180. Add 170 a bit at 170. 180 a new bid at 190. Add 180 a bit at 180. The bids are at 180, take 190 and 180. All done at 180, your last chance, all out and gone, you'll bid at 180.
The gavel's gone down at £180. Take away the commission. That leaves about £153.
That's much better.
That's what you're going home with? Are you happy with that?
Much better, yes.
Going home with 153 quid, that is the real deal.
It's time for the last deal of the day. Will Alison be able to pocket this next lot?
So we've got a pocket watch and a watch chain in a few bits.
Yeah, it's come apart, I'm afraid.
And a Masonic.
Yeah, went with it, yeah.
Okay, what's the story?
That was my dad's brother's, and he was in I think he was a Mason. And he died in 1963, and he left it to my dad. And then he has passed it on to me.
Well, I can tell you what's happened to the chain.
Yeah.
It's been worn to death.
That could have been my dad's brother.
He obviously enjoyed wearing it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because the reason it's broken down is the links have got so thin, as you can see here, they've worn right through. So with this particular piece, it really would not be economically worth repairing.
No.
The cost of doing each individual link would be quite prohibitive because you've got both ends to do. The watch chain is 18 carat, as is the little Masonic symbol, and the pocket watch is 9 carat.
9.
Now, the pocket watch, the face on it is quite badly cracked. And it's also not terribly healthy, the movement. It's not keeping good time. So we have total evidence that this piece has absolutely been enjoyed for its lifetime. So you could decide to scrap this piece with impunity, really. There isn't anything, it's come to the end of its natural life. And that makes me feel a bit happier, really, because I hate scrapping things that have still got a bit of life in them.
True,
Okay, Brian, so for your family heirloom, what do you think it's worth?
Oh, I should say 300.
Gosh, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 300. Well, I think I might surprise you, my lovely. Because, to me, 100, 200, 300, 400, £500.
You took my breath away.
Have I?
Yeah, you've taken my breath away.
And one for luck. My offer, which is a final offer, is £550. That is how much this piece that you just have sitting at home in a drawer is worth.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is, when you think you can't wear it.
No, it's put away. It's forgotten.
And the clock is only right twice a day because it stopped.
Yeah, also, I don't know, That's true. Well, I'm quite happy with that, to be honest.
You are?
I am happy with that.
I think I would be too, Brian. I think that's because that's a holiday there, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have we got a deal?
We certainly have.
Excellent. Well done, darling.
No messing around. Alison bags herself a great deal. But have our dealers earned any profit on their purchases today?
It's quite clearly lovely quality. The actual steel sword is quite beautifully engraved.
Jan had no problem when it came to selling on the sword. It was sold at an antiques fair, earning her a little profit.
170 is my final offer, but you must promise me one thing, that you'll treat yourself to a spot of lunch.
But did Henry get enough profit for a spot of lunch for himself when he scrapped the bracelet? Only just.
And I love the fact that the sails are really, really buffed nicely.
The ship sailed off to a new home when it was sold at an antiques fair for £110.
I'd probably give it away because I wouldn't be able to sell it.
Don't be kidded by that. I think I'll give it away. Once he gets his hand on it, and if there's a few quid, he'll not be giving anything away.
And guess what? David was right. Much to Ian's surprise, the watch flew out of the door and earned him a nice profit in return.
Excellent. We have a deal. I'll find the bear a good home.
The black bear hung around her shop for a while, but was eventually sold to a private collector in China.
This particular piece, it really would not be economically worth repairing.
Alison was planning to break the watch down and sell the parts individually, but she found a buyer for the complete watch in Japan and earned a pretty penny in the meantime. Well done, Alison.
It's been a really great day here in the sale room. There's been lots of action going on, lots of bidding and lots of buying. Now that's the way I like it. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.